The Florida Gators' opening loss to the Miami Hurricanes was a tough one for Gator fans. There were high expectations on and off the field, but the Gators struggled with consistency on both sides of the ball, leaving fans frustrated and confused. The loss sparked discussions among fans and analysts about the team's performance, coaching decisions, and what changes may be necessary moving forward. After the loss of starting quarterback Graham Mertz to a concussion, Gator fans caught a glimpse into the DJ Lagway era. We'll talk about that and more as Gator Game Day starts right now. Welcome to Gator Game Day. We're coming to you live from Weimer Hall of the College of Journalism and Communications, right next to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. We're going to talk about all things Gator football ahead of their matchup against the Samford Bulldogs. I'm your host, Scarlett Cooney. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Magnel Loper and JD Goldman, and we are so excited to be back here with you guys this weekend for another amazing show of Gator Game Day, our student-run pregame show. Now, it's no secret that last weekend didn't exactly go the way the Gators wanted. Their 41-17 loss to Miami was a huge shock and disappointment to players and fans alike, snapping a 35-year home opener win streak.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, it's pretty ugly, right? I mean, there's no way to really sugarcoat that one. But, I mean, the great thing about college football is we're here again. We get another shot. That was only one game. The Gators can kind of put that game behind them and move forward. They get an opponent here in Samford that it's a winnable game, and it's a game that the fans and the kind of Gator Nation kind of expects to come in and win, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about this game is that it was your season opener. You know, you're playing at home. Gator fans came in, packed the stadium, sold out crowd. That was going to be such a big factor in that game, but it didn't play out that way. Fans were leaving the stadium early. Miami kind of steamrolled everything. They kind of walked into your swamp and took over your swamp. Yeah. But they have a chance to bounce back today, and that's what the Gators are going to have to look to do.
Yeah, I have never seen so many fans leave so early after halftime, especially in a season opener. But at the head of this team is head coach Billy Napier. Let's see what he had to say about his team's performance last weekend.
I mean, it's embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. You know, that's how I feel. That's how our kids feel. And we've got a decision to make. You know, I mean, I think we have. It's what I just told them. You know, there's no excuses. Keep our mouth shut, show up and work, and we have to do better.
So the main takeaway there is obviously embarrassing. I mean, it doesn't help that he can't seem to get his water bottle open either. But, guys, break down for me what was so embarrassing about last weekend's loss.
Which loss are you referring to? The one against the water bottle or the one against Miami?
See what you did there. Tell me about Miami, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was an ugly loss against Miami. I mean, you kind of look at the stats in that game. Only 261 yards of total offense, 1 for 9 on third downs. And you think about those offensive stats. They had 71 yards on one rushing play by Montrell Johnson, kind of fluky. He got out wide and got loose. But if you take that play away, the Gators only had less than 200 yards of total offense. That is not a way to equate winning football, and obviously we saw that last week.
Yeah, I don't think it's winning football at all, especially the third downs. 1 for 9, just not what you want to see. And I think one of the biggest things also was that the expectations for this game were so high. You know, Billy Napier had so much confidence given the tough schedule that they were facing. But Gator fans were looking to push into this game, kind of take over things. But Miami rolled in. They kind of put up 41 points. Ken Ward put on the show. The recruits are throwing up to you after the game. Not what you want to see. But the Gators have a chance to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the offensive line kind of struggle last week. You kind of mentioned Cam Ward. He had time to make a sandwich before he threw passes there in the pocket. He was all over the field. He was running. He was passing. He made the Gators kind of look silly. So, I mean, this week is a great chance for the Gators to kind of hit the reset, kind of recalibrate everything, go out there and you know, it's almost like a 4-quarter practice this week. going against a team like Samford. They're kind of a lower-level team. This is a game that the Gators expect to win, and I can't wait to see what they can do out there.
Yeah, and I think a big thing that you point out, too, is that the offensive line for Miami was stouted where the Gators didn't really have that. I mean, Cam Ward could drop back into the pocket, go one Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. He could count all the way to 10 Mississippi if he wanted to. The guy had all the time in the world, and the thing is, playing a QB like Cam Ward, who's that type of Heisman caliber player, he went over. He can also extend the play, roll out to the pocket, roll outside the pocket, and make plays on his own.
Yeah, so now that we've broken down the offensive side of things, let's look at the other side of the ball. What happened on defense? It kind of looked like the Gators defense didn't even show up.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about position groups here. We just kind of touched on the offensive line. And that defensive line, we kind of saw the same kind of problems, just reversed. We kind of touched on the fact that Cam Ward's had a lot of time to throw, but the Gators couldn't get any pressure going. They really couldn't get anything going on defense. It was a free practice for Cam Ward in Miami last week. They came into our swamp and they took over our swamp. It was ugly. It was very ugly. But I mean, all week in practice they've been working on it, and hopefully we'll see it this week. Improvement.
And I think the biggest thing is the D-line. You want to be able to put pressure on a guy like Cam Ward. You want to be able to hurry him up, take him out of his own rhythm. But whenever you're not able to do that, it's just a field day for him. He's just out there playing Madden. So that's basically what it turned into.
Exactly. I mean, we bring in all these guys. You got big Des Watts in there, and he's so big, but it's like he couldn't really move last week too well. And then you bring in guys like Joey Slackman, all these transfers, Miles Graham, and we're so hyped up about it. We're so excited, and then the result just didn't pan out. It wasn't what we were looking for last week as Gator fans, as Gator Nation, and they're disappointed, but there's still positivity. It was only one game, and here's what Chimere Dike had to say after the game, after the loss last week.
You prepare all fall camp and then come out and make mistakes, and it doesn't feel good. But I think the only thing you can do is grow from here, right? We have a lot of games left, and I think that's kind of the mentality that we're taking.
You guys, one of my favorite lyrics from a song that goes perfectly with this situation is, last night took a nail, but tonight I bounced back. And that's what the Gators are going to try and do tonight. You took a loss against Miami. Yeah, it was an ugly game. Yeah, they put up 41 points on you. The more I talk about it, the more ugly it gets. But the Gators have a chance to go against Samford and really take control, take back the swamp in this one.
Yeah, definitely. And, I really like DK's positivity right after that game, too. I mean, that press conference was right after the game last week, right after you kind of got your head handed to you by Miami. And then right after that game, he's in the press conference and he's saying, okay, listen, that was an ugly game, but we're still together. We still believe in ourselves. We're still positive. We're still moving forward. And I really liked that. And I really think it's going to be huge for the rest of the teams to kind of buy into that mindset, to kind of agree with what Chimere Dike had to say and move forward. And another thing, we're talking about Chimere Dike, I'm going to bring this up. Khalil Jackson tore his ACL this week. So, I mean, it's going to be big for that wide receiver group to kind of bounce back and it's next man up. It's going to be Chimere Dike. It's going to be Trey Wilson. Those guys are going to have to make a bigger impact with the loss of Khalil Jackson.
Yeah, so hopefully for Gator fans, that positivity will pay off tonight. Coming up on Gator Game Day, we're going to break down everything about today's matchup, including who will be starting at quarterback for the Gators and a deeper look at the Samford Bulldogs. We'll be right back.
WUFT's Greater Good, Florida's award-winning storytelling series about the people and places in our communities truly making a difference. From arts organizations to animal rescues, life-saving services to educational resources, and so much more. Greater Good is made possible by program funders, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, and IQ Fiber. Tune in Fridays at 8:30 p.m. and throughout the week. More information at wuft.org/greatergood.
Welcome back to Gator Game Day. We're getting closer to that 7 o'clock kickoff tonight, and I have to tell you guys, I am just itching for a night game in the Swamp.
Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere. You know, it's a night game, a Saturday night game in Gainesville, Florida. You know, it's right there on University Avenue, which that means tonight's game is actually the pregame for the game after the game, if you know what I mean. So tonight is going to be a great atmospheric situation for everybody in Gainesville.
Yeah, night game in the Swamp. What's better than that? You can't beat it. We're here on Gator Game Day right now. We're right outside the College of Journalism and Communications. We're doing Gator Game Day the Gator way. We're student run. We're here. We breathe this Gainesville air. We go to these Gainesville classes. We're on the same campus as these players, and we're here. And I'm so happy to be here.
So now that we've broken down everything that went wrong last weekend, let's shift our focus to tonight's matchup. What does everyone need to know heading into tonight's game against the Samford Bulldogs?
So, I mean, the Samford Bulldogs are a team that has they struggled last week. They lost last week to West Georgia, but, you know, that's something that they can't take lightly, especially being this Florida Gators team right now in a situation where this is one of the games on your schedule that you're expected to win. I mean, this is one that you can't take lightly. You got to take them as if you're playing Alabama. You know, you got to prepare the same way.
Yeah, I think this is a reset game for the Gators. But one thing about Samford, they have a great QB. I mean, the guy last week, he had 2 TDs passing. He had 2 TDs rushing. The guy can play some football. So the Gators are going to have to key in on him if they want to pick up this win.
Yeah, I mean, the Samford quarterback, he led their team in rushing last weekend, if you can believe it. But I think the question on every Gators fan's mind this week is who's going to be starting for quarterback for the Gators tonight?
Well, it is finally DJ Lagway time in the Swamp. We heard it all summer long. He's the guy, you know, #1 recruit in the country. We've been seeing the Gatorade commercials with the orange sweat rolling down his face. I've been loving it. But it's finally DJ Lagway time. It's finally time to see what he can actually do in the Swamp. He got a little touch of it last week. You know, when Mertz went down, Lagway came in the second half, but now it's his show. He's starting tonight. He's had all week to kind of prepare with the first unit, and I can't wait to see what Lagway can do tonight.
Yeah, I think DJ Lagway is going to be great for Gator fans to see. You know, he's a guy that they've been wanting to see come in and play. You know, he's been playing behind Mertz, but now it's his time to step in. Now it's his time to, you know, make his impact. He can take advantage of this situation. It's not a great situation. You never want to see a player get injured, but this is a chance for DJ Lagway to show what he can do for the Gators.
Exactly, and I think the one bright spot about Graham Mertz going down with a concussion is DJ Lagway got to take a couple snaps in last weekend's game, so at least tonight it won't be his first time on Steve Spurrier Field. He'll be a little bit more comfortable his first start, but it's not the worst case scenario. And speaking of preparation, Gators offensive lineman Austin Barber had this to say about how the team is preparing for tonight's matchup.
I would say I think just staying together through everything. And I think that, you know, whatever happens, we just stay together as a team and don't let any distractions, any noise, you know, take us away from what we've built over the past however many months that we've been working together and, you know, building towards this.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from that interview is that you need to stay together as a team. You need to lock in and kind of block out the outside noise that's going around, because there are a lot of questions going around the Gator Nation right now after taking the Miami loss. But as a team, you need to keep that cohesiveness, keep that, you know, competitive spirit as a team, and stay with one goal in mind, one mindset, and have that going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, Barber's big message in that, you know, kind of soundbite we just saw was, you know, staying together as a team, keeping together and kind of blocking out the outside noise. And I think that's going to be huge for the Gators because there's a lot of noise right now on this team, surrounding Billy Napier, you know, the quarterback situation, everything that's going on. Listen, the media obviously always tries to spin things one way or the other, but that's not what the Gators are focused on. The Gators are focused on the Gators, which is exactly what they should be doing right now. And they kind of have this opportunity to kind of have a little litmus test, a little recalibration game right now. And, I mean, Austin Barber's pumping positivity. Chimere Dike kind of did that as well, and I think that's kind of the whole mindset of the team now. Okay, they lost to Miami. That game's behind. That's in the past. That happened last week. We got 11 more games on this schedule. It's a rough and tough schedule, and we got to prepare, and we got to keep moving forward.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I think the best thing for fans and players alike is that they need to reset. You know, clean slate. You know, you can reset the schedule. You got some tougher games coming up, as we all know. So tonight's going to be a good reset for both fans and players. But coming up next on Gator Game Day, we're going to check in with the fans, see what they're up to and what they think the keys to tonight's game are. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Wake up.
Wake up to the world.
To the marvels. The mayhem.
The music.
Wake up to the wows. The woes.
The wonder.
Wake up to the commotion. To the beauty.
To the humanity.
To the hope. Wake up every morning. Fully awake.
NPR Morning Edition.
Tune into your local station or download the NPR app.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make a plan and know your zone. In the case of an evacuation, have a plan to go to a hurricane shelter, hotel, or stay with a family or friends. If you're ordered to evacuate, you need to leave. You can rebuild your home, but you cannot rebuild your life. This hurricane season, know your zone. Know your home. Learn more at floridadisaster.org.
Welcome back to Gator Game Day. We're so excited to be here with you this afternoon, bringing you everything you need to know ahead of tonight's matchup between the Gators and the Bulldogs. I'm having a blast. How about you guys?
I'm having a great time. I'm just itching to get to this kickoff at 7 p.m. to where the Gators are going to be live in the stadium. You know, the lights are going to be flashing with everybody jumping up and down. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I can already feel the energy around us right now building. I can smell the grills. I can see the fans pouring in already. I'm having a blast, and I can't wait for tonight's game.
So one of the best things about Gator Nation is, of course, the fans. So it's time to talk to some fans and see what they think the keys to tonight's game are.
I would have to say we got to start off with the offensive line. It was an embarrassment against Miami. Like, we could not run the ball. We had no time to throw the ball. It just needs to get better. I would say number two, it's got to be the tackling game as well. We just we couldn't stop the run game. Like, every time I thought we had a tackle, they get for at least 4 more yards. And then finally, I think it's DJ Lagway. He's just got to show up today, and he's got to prove that he is the quarterback of the future for this lovely school.
What's up, guys? I'm Jovan Goldu. I've been a UF fan my whole life. And we need DJ Lagway, and DJ Lagway to win tonight. Let's go, football!
Thanks, Luke and Jovan. I mean, as much as we were pumped up before, how about that energy? I mean, I think the DJ Lagway count was up to 4 there.
That was incredible from Jovan. He just fired me up. I loved what he had to say. DJ Lagway, and how about at the end? Let's go football. That was incredible. He's that Gator guy that we need. I love his energy. I want him in the locker room firing up these guys. And then you look at what Luke had to say. I really like what he had to say about tackling, because that's been a problem for the Gators in recent history. We saw it last week against Miami. I think it's going to be huge for the Gators to tackle. So I want Luke on the field controlling the tackling, and I want Jovan in the locker room firing these guys up before the game.
Right, Jovan brought the energy, but Luke, he brought the stats to you. He said the O-line needs to be better. He said DJ Lagway is going to be a key factor in this game. So that's something that the Gators are going to have to key in on whenever they get ready to play in this game.
I mean, I, for one, am just glad that they don't have to deal with the blinding heat we had last weekend. There's nothing quite like a night game in the swamp, but the great thing about the Gator Nation is they show up in full force no matter what time of day it is. So it's time to check in with Matt Blinderman and check on some tailgaters. Get it? Matt, what do you have out there?
Well, thank you very much for that. My name is Matthew Blinderman, and we're back with Talking to Tailgaters. I'm joined here with
Savannah, Ellie, Andrew,
Alberto.
And now, how long have you guys been Florida Gators fans?
I've been a Florida Gator fan since 2022 when I came here for my MBA.
Ever since I was born, my dad's a Gator grade, and he's up in the Hall of Fame here in the stadium.
Yeah. And now I see you guys have a rockin' tailgate going on. What's your favorite part about tailgating?
Ellie.
You got it?
The food.
What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Steak.
My favorite part about the tailgate is just all the community and the hype around the Gators.
Yeah, I love that too, I can't lie. Now Florida's got a big game going on tonight against Samford, a must-win game for the Gators. How do we think going into this game?
What do you think?
Pretty positively. I think we might win this one. Pretty likely. Like, not that good. The other team's not that good, so.
I agree. I think it's a must-win for the Gators, and I think we should pull it out. Do we have any score predictions?
A lot to a little, Gators.
Yeah, go Gators. I like it. Sending it back to you guys.
Wow, it looks like you guys are having a great time out there. I always love tailgating. My favorite thing about tailgating is just getting the people together, getting the family out, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the energy in the air. What do you guys like about tailgating?
I love just the energy, as you just said, bringing everybody together. It's kind of a community whenever it comes to football. It's something that we can look forward to every year. But something I love about tailgating is a good, nice cornhole game.
I mean, I'd have to say my favorite tailgating memory is throwing the football with my dad. That's where I get my passion for football. So definitely throwing the football in the parking lot.
Tossing around the pigskin, playing some cornhole. Oh, I'm getting so excited just sitting here thinking about it. I can smell the grill over there. They're firing it up over there. I need myself a burger. I need myself one of those toss. What are those called? The
cornhole bags.
The cornhole bags.
Yeah.
Bags. Man, my brain just took a brain
And you
fart.
say you like a good burger, but man, me, I like a nice rib on the grill.
Ribs is crazy, though, at a tailgate. That's some high-end tailgating right there. I mean, usually I'm just hamburgers and hot dogs kind of guy. But, yeah, I mean, I love the energy out here. It's Gator football. They got all day to tailgate today. It's a 7 o'clock game. I'm loving it. I'm loving the energy right now.
Yep, we're getting closer and closer to that kickoff time. So next on Gator Game Day, we're going to compare both teams' performances from Week 1 and give you a player to watch. We'll be right back.
When your organization or business partners with WUFT as a corporate sponsor, listeners understand your commitment to the community. Corporate sponsorship of WUFT can support your business while supporting regional reporting. Information at WUFT.org/sponsorship.
Welcome back to Gator Game Day, our student-run Gators-focused pregame show. Thank you so much for joining us for our second show. It really means the world to us.
Yeah, although we are the students putting on this show, we would like to say thank you to you guys, because although we can do this thing out here on the line, if you guys aren't watching with us, then it doesn't really work that well.
Yeah, we're out here at the College of Journalism and Communications, and like piggybacking off what you guys just said, this is impossible without the fans, without you guys. So we just want to have a big thanks for you guys to tuning in today and tuning in to all of our Gator Game Days for the rest of the season. Every home game, you can find us right here.
So we're getting closer and closer to kickoff, but before we head inside Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, guys, talk to me about how these two teams' performances from last week stacked up against each other.
So, listen, it wasn't pretty for either team last week. They both lost, but even so, Samford still had Florida beaten every major category. Not something you want to see if you're the Gators. One specific thing that they did better than the Gators last week was third down conversions. They went 6 for 15 on third down conversions. That's 40%. That's something that Florida really needs to work on in this game.
Yeah, we're talking about offensively. Our major bright spot for the Gators offensively was that 71-yard touchdown from Montrell Johnson Jr. Samford had a bright spot of their own. Their wide receiver, Brendan Jenkins, had a 68-yard touchdown, so pretty similar there, too.
Yeah, the guys on both sides are playing good football, but I think the biggest thing that's going to come into this game is the QB battle, because on Samford's side, they have a guy who has put up some stats last week. He had 2 TDs rushing. He had 2 TDs passing, and he's going to have to go against DJ Lagway in this one and the Gator QB club.
Yeah, I mean, listen, DJ Lagway's making his first start. That's the biggest story in today's game, and DJ Lagway, he's coming into the swamp. A great thing for DJ is, listen, the downside is Mertz got hurt last week, but the only good thing that they can take from that is DJ Lagway was working with the first team unit all week in practice. This isn't something that happened and was just sprung on him. He's been working with the first team all week, and I think that's a great thing for him to kind of prepare and get ready for this game.
So I know it's hard to pick just one, but can you give the fans one player to watch for tonight's matchup?
So in tonight's matchup, I mean, I'm going to pick the guy that was the biggest bright spot in last week's game, and that was Shamar James on the defensive side of the ball. Listen, he brings the energy, but he had a big pick in the first half of that game, and that pick at that moment looked like it could have been a turning point in the game. It was a moment where the Gators were trailing, but it looked like the Gators, the kind of momentum was swinging. He got that interception, so hopefully he can build off that this week and continue to make plays.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big factor in this game because, as you said, that was a very big point in that game at that time against Miami. It really looked like Ken Ward showed a little bit of sign of that he could bleed a little bit for a second there, but Shamar James can play great. He can make plays on the field, as was shown last week, so he could be a big key factor in the Gators winning this game.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when Shamar James made that pick, I was like, oh my God, we're going to win, we're going to win.
We're back, we're going to win, we got this.
Go into the natty. So guys, tell me what your predictions are heading into tonight's game.
Listen, I think this is going to be the recalibration game that everyone's been talking about, and I think the perfect way to do that, it's going to be a flip of last week's score. The Gators are going to beat Samford 41-17. You heard it here first.
You know, you're a real positive guy, my friend, and that's what I like about you, but not so fast, my friend, because whenever I look at how this recipe is cooking up for the week for the Gators of football, I see a QB was lost last week, you know, and then your offensive line is struggling, your defensive line is struggling, and on top of that, DJ Lagway is happening to step into this game playing behind that offensive line. And then I look at Samford, and I say, that guy over there playing QB, he's playing some great football. I say, Samford, they're stepping into this game after coming off a loss, so they're hungry. Samford doesn't usually play in front of 93,000 people. They don't see
I know you're not about to say what I think you're going to say.
They don't see fireworks popping from the Jumbotron. They don't see, you know, planes flying over the field before the game. So Samford has nothing to lose. Florida has everything to lose in this one, and that's why I'm going to say this. Give me Samford 24-20 to win this ball game in an absolute slugger of a game.
No way.
You know, I'm ever the pessimist. I think I'm rubbing off on Magnel over here. You know, I don't make predictions. My dad will heckle me too much, and I know he's watching. I know. But I'm hoping and praying that the Gators will pull off the win today, and we will see tonight. But thank you guys so much for joining us today on Gator Game Day as we broke down Florida's matchup against Samford, kicking off very soon. Don't forget to catch us live on YouTube before every home game, and make sure you give us a follow on our social media accounts to the sports at CJC. We hope everyone enjoys tonight's game, and go Gators.
Gator Game Day is presented in part by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the University of Florida. And by the College of Journalism and Communication at the University of Florida. We are communigators.